Hi you guys, it's Katie again. I'm going to share with you today what I'm doing for my resolution for 2019. First, I'm going to tell you what I do and how it's different than probably what you're used to. But next, I'm going to tell you how it's worked for me the last 3 years, and then I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it in 2019. So I used to be like probably many of you, where I would set a big long list of goals. I would sit down and write all the things that I wanted to accomplish in the upcoming year, and like, I want to lose so many pounds, I want to exercise this many times a week for this many minutes, I want to make this much money, I want to read my scriptures for so many days in a row, I want to finish the whole Book of Mormon, I want just all these very specific things that I would write down. And I would make this big long list, and sometimes I'd hang it on my wall. And very often what would happen, especially with me, I don't know if everybody's like this, but what would happen is I would start into this goal where I wanted to do something every day. Like one year I wanted to have a green smoothie every day. And I did great for like the first 2 weeks, which is pretty amazing. And then I missed a day. And it was like my whole world, my whole year just crumbled before my eyes, and now I was a failure. And I could not see that I could still do something really amazing even though I missed a day. It was like, but I wanted to do it every day. And it's so discouraging to me when I'm not perfect and I really want to be. Even in just one little thing, can I just be perfect in this one little area? That would be really nice. And so trying to do something like that where I'm setting very specific goals and I want to do something every day sometimes just sets me up for being discouraged. Even though I accomplished great things that way, it's hard for me to see it. So in 2015, I was introduced to this concept by a friend. And the concept is not to create a list of goals per se, but to choose one word, one focus word for the year. And what, baby? Do you want to come be in the video with me? There she is. This idea of choosing one word to focus on for the whole year was revolutionary for me. And I did it very carefully. It took me a long time the first time. And it's different every year how long it takes me and the process that I go through in trying to choose that word. But obviously I want the word to be really inspired, and I want it to be the right word. And so I spent a lot of time journaling and writing lists of ideas and trying to figure out what my word's going to be for the year, and praying to receive revelation and inspiration about what I should choose and what the Lord would have me work on this year. Kind of like the "what lack I yet" prayer. So the first year that I did it was 2016, and my focus word for that year was trust. And I came up with that word. I'd actually been journaling for a couple of days, revisiting the concept, and I'd written big long lists of words that were possibilities, and I just wasn't really feeling anything in my core. Like, they were good, they were really good, some of them, but it was like, that's not it. There's something I'm missing. There's something else that I'm supposed to be focusing on. I decided to just get up and get moving and move on and hope that I received the inspiration and revelation as I went throughout my day. And it happened. I was actually vacuuming the living room when the word came to me. Sometimes I feel like we try so hard to get revelation that we're hyper, I guess we tense up. Is that the word? Like we almost close ourselves off to the revelation because we're so worried about getting the revelation and whether or not we receive it or not, instead of relaxing and just being open to it. And so I was doing something else, and all of a sudden the word trust came into my mind, and I felt this tingling sensation come from the crown of my head and move all the way down to my toes in this like rush. And it was amazing, and I was just tingly all over, and I had chills and goosebumps, and I was like, that's it, that's my word. And along with the word came this realization that my struggles with receiving revelation at that time were coming from not only a lack of trust in the Lord and His timing and His will, and that trusting that whatever He has in store for me is better than anything I could have asked for or planned for myself. and that it would bring me joy. And not only was I lacking in that trust a little bit, or in other words, faith, but I was lacking trust in myself. And that was inhibiting me from receiving revelation, because I might receive revelation, but it's such a subtle impression in your mind or in your heart that I would push it aside because of lack of trust in myself, feeling insecure, like, well, that's probably not revelation because I just imagine things, or I don't receive revelation. I'm not good enough to receive revelation or to understand it when I get it. And there were all sorts of beliefs like that going on. And so I realized that I needed to work on trusting myself as well. And so for 2016, that's what I focused on. So the whole year, even though I wasn't focusing on it 100% of the time, because it was my focus word and it was always right there in the back of my mind, I took steps consistently to improve my ability to trust, to follow revelation as soon as I receive it, and to move forward in faith, and to trust myself to receive revelation. In 2017, the word that I felt impressed to choose was the word open. Being open to new possibilities, open to new paths in my life, open to try new things, open to saying yes more often to my children and not be closed off. And the interesting thing was that's the year that I actually had wanted to go back to school, to an art academy called Bose Academy in Provo. Instead, when I prayed about when to start that education, the answer that I got, because I was being open, was, you know what, Katie, that's a really great plan. That would be amazing. But you know what would be even better is if you decided to have another baby. Look, here she is. So I was open to that. And that's the year that I conceived and got pregnant with Eliza. And then 2018 is coming to a close now. And the word that I was focusing on, or have been focusing on all this year, has been nurture, which makes sense because I had another baby. My next youngest child is 6 years old, so I have a big gap. And I was moving back into this phase of nurturing where I hadn't been for a long time. And I knew that bringing a new baby into the world would mean that I would do a whole lot of nurturing with her, but then also that all my other 5 children would need extra love and care and attention. And so I focused on nurturing this year. And I think I did pretty well. I mean, I know I can see that I've come a long ways since the beginning of the year. I've been more patient with my kids. I've been more present with them more often. And so I've seen improvement there. And I've also been more willing to go tuck them in again when they ask me to, and sing a lullaby at night. This is my journal, my current journal. I go through lots of journals. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. No. Okay. So, oh, you want it, huh? This is my 2019. Can you focus on this? Don't focus on our faces. We gotta hide our faces. Okay. Okay, this is my 2019 brainstorm for words. And as you can see, I have 3 different columns and a little bit full of words. And what I did is I wrote all these words down, anything that came to mind that sounded good. And then I went through to try to narrow it down, and I circled my favorites. And then I just moved on to like doodling up here and coloring in the letter or the numbers and stuff, and making it a little fancier. And as I was doing that, all of a sudden my word came to me, and it wasn't even one that I had written down. I don't think it ever is. It's never one that I wrote down. Yeah. So my word for 2019 is shine. And I'm pretty excited about that. The scripture that came to mind for me when the word shine came into my mind was Matthew 5:14-16, which says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. That is why I am putting more emphasis on my YouTube channel and created 2 more YouTube channels. So I have 3 YouTube channels now. I've got this one that you're watching, Katie with Kids, and then I have my Katie Garner Art, which I had before, and then I have Art Class with Katie. So I'm going to be putting myself out there more this year, and I feel like I just want to share my life. I want to share what I do and hope that it inspires people. So that's it. That's my word for 2019. Let me know if you choose a word. I would love to hear what it is. Is this something that you've heard of before? Do you do this already? And if not, maybe you should try it. Give it a shot. Let me know if you do it, and I would love to hear how it goes for you. Thanks so much. I am just sitting here watching my sweet little baby who just woke up from her nap. Yes, that's you. And I'm trying to decide if she has a little bit of red hair. You think she's going to be a redhead? Let's see the top of your head. I don't know. I feel like it's looking more reddish than any of my other kids' hair has. Yeah.